Hey, it's Jackster, and I'm back with something different again. I told you my videos were going to be different. You know, I'm kind of evolving to what they might be. This is my for my channel, Dad, that's going to go on the internet.
Oh, yeah?
You see, so I'm talking to my audience. They're watching.
Okay.
But anyway, I have my father-in-law here, who's had the unique experience to grow up with a milkman and helping a milkman through World War II. And working through the Ford factory as well, which, well, you'll hear. And I'm going to purify these and put more videos up with this subject. But just for now, I want to introduce my father-in-law, Dean. Well, anyway, here he is.
Boy, I never knew I was going to be in the movies.
No.
I enjoy telling Jack nobody else wants to hear it, but Jack likes to hear that kind of stuff.
Well, come on, like you were, all right, you were working in the factory, correct?
Well, you know, we ought to start when I was a kid, you know?
Yes.
You know, in the third grade, I really started the first grade, the kindergarten. I remember the neatest thing all of us go to kindergarten, and they had all kinds of tools and cars, you know, and wagons and everything. I thought that was so wonderful.
But in the Ford factory?
No, this was at Clinton School. I was in the kindergarten at Clinton. This was I was 6 years old, I guess, the kindergarten. That's when I started, and it was a wonderful time. Wait, cut. We got to have a cut.
Well, no
I got to
cuts.
get my bearings.
Yeah, don't get your bearings. That's all right.
Well, I had to start where I started. I went to Clinton, and it was so interesting as a little kid.
What was Clinton? Was that a school?
Yeah, that was a school.
Yes.
Right. That was right off of Ferris, right there on Woodward and Ferris.
Woodward and Ferris.
Yeah, that's where it was.
And what grades were you in this school?
I started there in kindergarten,
Mm.
and then I went to the first grade, and then from the first grade I went to the Catholic school, St. Benedict's.
Uh-huh.
To the third grade I started at St. Benedict's, and it was a beautiful church. Man, I'll tell you, I used to get up in the top of the, what do they call up in the lobby upstairs, overlooking all the people down below.
Oh.
What do they call that? That's something. Anyway, but I remember that I'd go to church and I'd see all those people down below. I thought, boy, that's a beautiful church. They probably tore it down by now.
Yeah.
Man, they had marble pillars and.
Where are the roads again? Next time we're in the city, we'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, I was on Woodward and Ferris, and then there's Woodward, and then from there they go down Church Street. Goes down to where Clinton was, just in the first block.
Yes.
We had to walk. You know, we didn't have buses
Yeah.
in those days.
But listen, I don't mean to jump into it, but I want to hear just a little bit about the Ford factory, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask you specific places in time, and we'll get that on film.
The Ford factory?
Yes. You used to sell milk in there during the war?
My dad had the rights
Yes.
to go in there during the war, and you'd have to go by the policemen. It's all gated.
Yes.
Because we were building tanks, tank tops,
Mhm.
what have you, in there. That was
Very interesting.
yeah. You know, they were, and I remember those guys. They had the like a track going over the top of the whole, it was
A conveyor
like a
belt?
little. It was like a little alley right down through the middle Ford factory. And they were building different parts and assembling and everything. It was an assembly line.
Yeah.
And they had a guy that we sold a pint of chocolate to, was 11 cents at that time. and my dad, I had a little changer, and I would sell that guy, and he'd give me a quarter, and I had to give him change, you know. Dad said I was pretty good at it, you know. Anyway, I'd sell him a pint of chocolate, and I'd go down to the end of his where he could come down. He had like a escalator type of thing going down to the ground, and I would go down there and wait for him and sell him a pint of chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Hmm.
But they were all busy. Man, everybody was busy. You know, they had 3 shifts because of the war. They had to get those tanks built.
Yeah.
What have you? And this was in 1940. You know, they started early because they knew Hitler was coming. You know, he'd invaded Europe. You know, and we all knew that Hitler was coming because we thought any day he'd start bombing us. You know.
And we were building tanks in advance.
Yeah, we were
And
building
they weren't for the British, the tanks?
Well, the British did. We did help the British. Yeah, we helped England. That was our place where we would send the tanks to England. You know, across the waters. That's where those U-boats would shoot at and sink our ships because they knew we had supplies for the war.
Yeah.
And England was the one that was taking a rap, man. They were bombing England like crazy. London was, you know, at nights you could see fires. Not me, but people said that the things were over in England. Everything was on fire.
Wow.
Everything was on fire, you know, because those Germans they bombed them. They shot rockets over the V2 rocket going in there. It's just a bomb with a motor on it, and they shot it over to England. They didn't know where they were going to land. They just, all of a sudden they quit and then they dropped.
And you heard about these things a lot when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they thought they were going to start doing it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Roosevelt was our president, and he tried to keep us out of the war at first, but then he knew we were going to get in, so we really went to building different things, guns and bombs and everything for the English.
Yeah.
See, English were the ones who were taking it. Boy, they were really blowing the hell out of them. And
Boy, in America, all pulled together, didn't they?
oh yeah, everybody was working to. We really thought they were gonna take us. And who was it? Who was the English leader? Jeez,
Churchill.
Churchill. There you are. Yeah, Churchill. He'd come over and get supplies from us and everything. He'd visit us because he knew in the United States we were all building everything, ammunition, guns, everything because they couldn't hardly do it. They didn't start until about 1939. That's when they started really getting serious about building material, bombs and anything for the British. You know, well, they were really busy. And but anyway, going back to school, I was in the first grade, and I started in the third grade. I went from Clinton. That was a kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and third grade. But they put me back. I was going into I should have been going into the fourth grade, but they put me back because of I don't know. They didn't give me a test or anything. But I had been in a Catholic school, and they weren't sure what the heck they teach over there.
Oh, geez. Hey, listen, Dad, we're running out of time. So I just want to say that, I'd like to get together again and do some videos of specific videos like air raids in Detroit, air raid warnings in Detroit.
Oh, yeah. We were kids. We thought that was great. We'd be in the dark looking out
The
the
strike, I don't want to run out of time here, Dad.
Yeah.
The strike at Ford Motor Company.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of other things from your
Now
perspective.
Now that's going back into the 20s.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it again here, Dad. So hold tight.
Okay.
Anyway, this is Jack signing off for now. I'll see you next time.